The icy landscapes of Greenland have become an unexpected stage for international controversy. The arrival of a U.S. delegation, led by Second Lady Usha Vance, has sparked outrage and apprehension. The visit, ostensibly focused on cultural exchange and collaboration, has been met with suspicion and condemnation from Greenlandic and Danish officials. The delegation's presence has reignited tensions and raised questions about the true motives of the Trump administration. The timing of the visit, just days after Greenland held parliamentary elections, has further fueled the fire. With a new government yet to be formed, the visit is perceived by many as a blatant attempt to exert influence during a vulnerable transition period. The delegation's arrival has been met with protests and public outcry, highlighting the deep-seated unease surrounding U.S. interests in Greenland. This visit is not merely a diplomatic incident, it is a stark reminder of the complex historical relationship between the U.S. and Greenland. The composition of the U.S. delegation itself has raised eyebrows. Leading the group is Second Lady Usha Vance, a figure known more for her philanthropic endeavors than her foreign policy expertise. While the White House maintains that Vance's visit is primarily focused on cultural exchange, her presence has done little to quell the anxieties surrounding the delegation's true purpose. Accompanying Vance are two figures with significantly more experience in matters of national security and resource acquisition: Michael Waltz, the National Security Advisor, and Chris Wright, the Energy Secretary. Their presence has fueled speculation that the delegation's visit extends far beyond cultural diplomacy. Waltz and Wright are expected to tour a U.S. military base in Greenland and explore the island's vast reserves of rare earth minerals, resources of significant strategic importance. The inclusion of Waltz and Wright, alongside Vance, has created a perplexing dichotomy. The delegation's mission appears muddled, torn between the facade of cultural exchange and the pursuit of tangible geopolitical and economic interests. This lack of clarity has only deepened the distrust surrounding the visit, leaving Greenland and the international community questioning the true intentions of the Trump administration. Greenland's response to the U.S. delegation has been swift and unambiguous, a resounding rejection of what is perceived as an unwelcome intrusion. Prime Minister Newzz Ejedi has publicly denounced the visit as highly aggressive and questioned the need for the National Security Advisor's presence. His words reflect the sentiment of many Greenlanders, who view the delegation's arrival with suspicion and resentment. The timing of the visit, coinciding with the formation of a new government, has only amplified the outrage. Many perceive the delegation's presence as an attempt to exploit a moment of political vulnerability and exert undue influence over Greenland's future direction. The visit has been met with protests across Greenland, with citizens expressing their discontent through demonstrations and public statements. Greenland's leaders have made it clear that they will not be bullied or coerced into decisions that do not serve their national interests. The U.S. delegation's visit, far from fostering goodwill and cooperation, has instead exposed the raw nerves of a relationship strained by historical power imbalances and conflicting geopolitical objectives. The White House, in a carefully crafted narrative, has attempted to downplay the controversy surrounding the Greenland visit. Officials maintain that the delegation's mission is centered on cultural exchange and strengthening ties between the U.S. and Greenland. Second Lady Vance's presence, they argue, is a testament to the administration's commitment to fostering people-to-people connections and celebrating the unique heritage of Greenland. The White House has highlighted Vance's planned attendance at Greenland's national dog sled race as a symbol of the visit's cultural focus. They emphasize the importance of engaging with Greenland's rich traditions and fostering a deeper understanding between the two nations. Additionally, the White House points to planned meetings between U.S. officials and their Greenlandic counterparts as evidence of their commitment to collaboration and dialogue. However, the White House's attempts to frame the visit as a purely cultural endeavor have been met with skepticism. The inclusion of high-ranking security officials and the delegation's interest in Greenland's natural resources have cast a long shadow over the narrative of cultural exchange, raising questions about the true motives behind the mission. The recent visit of the U.S. delegation to Greenland cannot be viewed in isolation. It is essential to consider the historical context, particularly former President Trump's well-documented ambitions regarding the Arctic nation. Trump's infamous proposal to purchase Greenland in 2019 sent shockwaves through the international community, exposing a raw desire for territorial expansion that many found unsettling. Trump's interest in Greenland stemmed from a combination of factors, including the island's strategic location, its vast, untapped natural resources, and his own penchant for deal-making on a grand scale. He saw Greenland as a potential prize, a valuable asset to be acquired in his pursuit of American dominance. However, his proposal was met with swift and unequivocal rejection from both Greenland and Denmark. The current delegation's visit, though cloaked in the language of cultural exchange and collaboration, carries echoes of Trump's earlier ambitions. The presence of National Security Advisor Waltz and Energy Secretary Wright, coupled with the known U.S. interest in Greenland's rare earth minerals, suggests that the pursuit of strategic and economic interests remains a driving force behind U.S. engagement with Greenland. The U.S. delegation's arrival in Greenland has sparked controversy. Public opinion in Greenland is overwhelmingly opposed to U.S. annexation. Trump's attempt to purchase Greenland still fuels resentment. Recent polls show strong opposition to U.S. influence. Greenlanders want to maintain their autonomy. They view the visit as a disregard for their self-determination. The U.S.'s framing of the visit as cultural exchange hasn't eased anxieties. Greenlanders recognize the strategic interests behind the visit. The U.S. military presence in Greenland is not a recent development. It is a legacy of historical circumstances and strategic calculations dating back to World War II. The U.S. established its first military base in Greenland in 1941, a strategic outpost in the fight against Nazi Germany. Over the decades, the U.S. military presence in Greenland has waxed and waned, reflecting the geopolitical realities of the Cold War and the post-9/11 world. Today, the U.S. maintains a small missile defense base in northern Greenland, a key component of its global defense network. This base, known as Thule Air Base, has been a source of both cooperation and contention between the U.S. and Greenland. While the base provides economic benefits and employment opportunities for some Greenlanders, it has also raised concerns about environmental impact and the potential militarization of the Arctic region. The U.S. delegation's visit to Greenland has inevitably brought the issue of the U.S. military presence back into focus. The presence of National Security Advisor Waltz and the delegation's planned tour of Thule Air Base suggest that the U.S. is seeking to reinforce its strategic foothold in the Arctic at a time of heightened geopolitical competition. As the U.S. delegation concludes its controversial visit to Greenland, the future of U.S.-Greenland relations hangs in the balance. The visit, far from achieving its stated objective of strengthening ties, has instead exposed the deep fissures and mistrust that plague the relationship. Greenland's leaders and its people have sent a clear message. They will not be treated as a pawn in a geopolitical chess game, nor will they be bullied into compromising their sovereignty. The U.S., if it truly seeks a constructive and mutually beneficial relationship with Greenland, must abandon its paternalistic approach and embrace a new era of engagement based on respect, transparency, and genuine partnership. Ignoring the concerns and aspirations of the Greenlandic people will only serve to further alienate a nation that could be a valuable ally in addressing shared challenges such as climate change and Arctic security. The U.S. delegation's visit to Greenland has been a masterclass in diplomatic missteps and tone deafness.
And that's the latest on Greenland's fiery response to President Trump's unexpected plan to send a delegation their way. From diplomatic eyebrow raises to memes flooding social media, it's a wild reminder that geopolitics never takes a day off. Who knew real estate ambitions could stir up this much drama, right? If you're new here, hey, thanks for hanging with us for these past 9 minutes. We live for breaking down the stories that blur the lines between wait, what, and no way. Whether it's Greenland's icy clapbacks or the latest global headlines, Reviewzz Newzz is your spot to stay in the know without the jargon. So, if you're into actually understanding the news, not just scrolling past it, do us a solid. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We drop fresh videos on Mondays and Thursdays, and trust us, you don't want to miss what's next. Got a friend obsessed with current events? Send this their way. The more the merrier in our growing squad of news nerds. Before you go, drop a comment below. Should world leaders take a chill pill, or is this political spice just part of the game. We read every reply. Thanks for watching, folks. Stay curious, stay informed, and remember, when the news gets messy, Reviewzz Newzz has your back. Catch you in the next one.